Hello, Capricorn. Welcome to your timeless love variant reading. Please bear in mind a few things before we get started. All right, Capricorn. These messages here for this channel will make more sense if Capricorn is found in your Sun, Rising, and or Jupiter position, especially if I'm giving a shout out to it, all right? With that being said, if you're here for your Capricorn maybe being in your moon placement, whatever it is that you're looking for is more so related to needing to read that energy. So the best way I can direct you to that is to see whether your intuition wants to take you to the second channel link in the description box below and browsing any content over there to maybe assist you. I do that for many reasons, but one for you to discover on your own. All right. Now, with that being said, if you'd like any of my services from any type of tarot reading or a type of inquiry or even remote healing sessions, I am a master healer. Time and place, wherever you are, does not play a role of how well you will be able to heal in working with me. So any of that information, again, is found in the description box below. As always, past, present, and future energetical timelines could come forth within a reading, so use your discernment to take all of that which belongs to you and to leave the rest behind. When it comes to the love variant reading, you might be a returning listener to my channel, so that means you've listened to another type of reading that may not be available any longer, and finding a niche for these readings is interesting to try to capture and also invigorate attention to feeling the quote-unquote need and desire to share my my interest and my intuitive insights on that of which it is I feel I want to express externally. The reason why I'm saying all this is because it's tied to your interests at this time. It is tied into, I don't run my mouth along like that, like for a long time like this. I try not to. And when it comes to like the introductory form, but it's part of someone's here listening out to many ways to kind of boost up their own morale, boost up their own professionalism, wanting to find alternative ways of doing things. So taking notes, I'm seeing someone taking notes, all right? This is also energetically, I see that someone is tapping into my energy and being nosy. So, that will obviously only ring a bell for a selective few of people. However, the message is out there that you are seen, you are heard, but that does not mean that everyone is going to be addressed. All right. Now, the reason why I say that is because people are tapping into Sekhmet energy and are wanting her to have a return rate of what she can provide as far as justifying life for an individual, or seeking validation as to why individuals do certain things in the light of one way and in any active behavior in another way. So they're really wanting to kind of try to find justice. I'm seeing like some kind of like cross-watcher energies, like tapping into what Capricorn may be thinking, may be doing, may be trying to also manipulate the energies by becoming more, in their version, aware of what's going on. But the awareness will only ever stem down to Capricorn of how well an individually on a soul level is going to resonate with the message. So there is not much you can do to manipulate a person's destiny without getting some major impact of karmic advances done onto you. So just keep that in mind, because again, there is a majority of you that are here based on a narrative that is not true. And in order to seek justice for what it is that you're emotionally trying to seek redemption of, will not be found in the degrees of satisfying that for your ego self in that category. So that's why I'm saying it in this long, stretched out version, with it also tying to an overall Capricorn message. You have a role to play at this time, Capricorn, especially if you yourself know a bit about tarot and your own fears. It's very difficult for you to almost accept that your symbolism in tarot is the devil energy. But deep down inside, there's a comedic version of it within you that understands that sense of humor. And wanting to understand that, desiring to understand that, is exactly why the majority of you are still in form of knowing how to pretty much walk in Christic consciousness, light behavior of those frequencies, karayasa ta'ala, without it being a stigma of a book or a Bible or a scripture of any kind. We're not talking about those type of vibrations. We're talking about literally those vibrations coming from earth. And feeling them resonate within your body is why also a huge margin of the people that are listening out to these energies to come, whatever, are impacted, and also maybe not even in this room listening to these energies. It's happening to them regardless. Whether or not someone is going to be impacted or profoundly feel my words or not is not really the point of being the deliverer of the message, right? The point of anything is that if it were to cross paths with someone who needed to hear anything, that it validates something for them inside. And right now, you're seeking more validation for yourself, Capricorn, rather than being the validation. And that is where you're having an ego, maybe a considerable amount of constant ego deaths at this time, trying to understand the overall power of that symbolism of the devil energy of your tarot symbolism as that sign, and coming up with a very quote-unquote Christic viewpoint on it, and not losing the integrity of what you think is very important for human connection, which is love and compassion, friendship, romance, intimacy, sensuality. Now, I've dealt with toxic Capricorn energy, and then in the toxic Capricorn energy, it can be very charming, very sensual, very alluring, very, very animalistic, very easy to get into the form of natural rhythm with the Capricorn. But that is also an element of being toxic in that role, because what can happen in that role of being very vulnerable and sharing that intimacy with a Capricorn is that Capricorn's ego of not being emotionally available will need to be addressed at a certain point, and the time and space needed for you, Capricorn, to show up emotionally and make yourself available is very narrow. Has a narrow window of opportunity for those people who really care for you. You keep being around people that have like a time constraint of how much they want to quote unquote fuck with you on the level of like, all right, now are you about this or are you about not? For that, you're a little bit fickle. But the overall quality to being a human, you have a lot of check boxes marked off and crossed off of like, wow, people really want to like be you and want to embellish you in some kind of way. They want to mock you, but in a way of like, I want to have your confidence. I want to have a bit of what you're doing too. You're a great hustler. You're a great achiever. You're doing a lot of things. You have your swag, Capricorn. There are a lot of things that make you great, and you can see that greatness for who you are as well. But it's about still figuring out how to emotionally intellectualize pain rather than emotionally having to process how to purge those emotions. Because to be available for humanity is to understand why humanity goes through these emotions and not having feelings tied to vulnerability attached and going through them too. So huge task for you at this time, Capricorn. And it is a huge barrier, of almost like a testament at this time to how well you can either rehash, re-challenge, readdress, recalibrate, restructure the word and symbolism of love in your life, and maintaining that integrity here. All right, we have the King of Wands, that energy of charm and charisma. All right, that is your energy, being very swagalicious as well. That type of energy may have come from you, come across in your readings before. But you're missing out, all right? These cards are like dropping, near misses. You're missing out. Look at that, death energy. You're missing out on something. It's emotional dehydration, all right? You're either not giving yourself the emotional intelligence that you need here. Look at that. Mommy and daddy showing up, all right? You need mommy and daddy. There's a lot of parental issues for some. There are lack of parents. They're literally deceased parents for some. And we're not overpassing this, we're not diminishing, but we are going to be here and honor everything for the moment of never having to worry about past, present, and future. Right now, everything is just as live as it needs to be, as it always was, and forever will be. There is no diminishing just because it's gone. Just as much as you can believe in the possible power of the unseen energies, that's how alive everything is simultaneously. Diminishing the idea to hold on to a narrative that time and space matters. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. So to hold yourself accountable day to day, week to week, month to month for carrying on emotional pain is fucking unnecessary, and it really needs to really transform. And if you cannot get yourself there with your ego, you have to allow yourself, for the spirits that you walk in, to be that netting for you to just surrender and do it anyway. All right, you're just gonna have to do a major fucking ego death, Capricorn, to understand the power of the essence that lies to resurrect you again. It is your energy, but it's refreshed and new, and it doesn't want to wiggle in the shit that you have left to clean. It doesn't have any room for that, but it needs you to cut the cord of the everything finally donezo, for you to understand what reconciliation is, what closure is, what rehashing can become in the light of good, or in the presence of darkness. But you need to be fully resurrected here for you to understand the learning curve of this situation. Yeah, look at that, fully resurrected. Judgment here. It's too many cards, but let me see if I need to take any of them. No. I said the netting, right? The netting, and you see that 8 of Pentacles. Yeah, some of y'all need your mommy. You need invigorating. You need the juices of mother's love. So, unfortunately, everyone may never be that satisfied for with the mother's love. And I'm saying that with a blanket statement, because those people who are listening here probably don't have the best version of a relationship that they would want to have with their parent, especially here with the mother role, whoever plays the mother role. All right, and a lot to do with what just was said with whoever plays the mother role is that a lot of these children who are missing that idea of that have played the mother role without knowing it. So they're not seeing their own self-worth, but your own self-worth is being catered by the fact that you're here needing to be told, hello, congratulations, you're a great fucking person. You're not hearing the message how great you are. It's you, Capricorn, because you've been damaged by a narrative done onto you. And once you understand that, and having an emotional ego death, you're going to understand finally, so finally, that it's like, what the fuck? Why was I carrying all this? Like, why? Like, truly, you will get to a point where you know it is done, when you get to the point of realizing all of a sudden you don't reflect on something anymore. And then when that moment comes, you're like, what the fuck? I was worried by that, or I carried that this whole entire time, and etc., etc. So allow yourself to travel your mind in the darkness of that of which you think you fear. Because I'm not diminishing saying that you think you fear it, but I'm telling you, you're surrounded right now, Capricorn, by an amazing form of your version of energy that is waiting for you to gasp deep breath of air to recapture it again. You sit in and she wants to pop out. The devil, 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 devil. Devil, 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 devil. Capricorn, Capricorn. Capricorn, that's your card. Hello. You are returning to Mama, and Mama needs her children to return back to her. So you have to go to Mother Nature. You have to heal your mommy wounds. Alright? I was just about to say fuck your daddy, and then the Emperor energy comes up, which is very interesting because it makes sense why all this trauma and drama is here, this masculine energy, especially if there has been an absence of feminine mothering. It's because that mother and maybe her mother's mother and maybe not having a mother is all a toxic form of femininity, which is not going to be shown by the Empress card. It's going to be shown with the Emperor card. Toxic femininity. And that toxic femininity, a certain child, as maybe you, Capricorn, is hardened, saddened, in disbelief of not being able to turn to Mother and seek this healing. Because you came from perhaps that mother hen, and to have to not be able to look back because it's just not part of your journey is very hard for someone's ego to even compute and bring awareness to. However, let's not joke ourselves here. There have been many character attributes expressed by thee, Capricorn, when you were in the nesting of the dwellings of parents or whatever, where you allowed your ego to play with the possibility of not being caught, not being seen, bending the rules, being a rebellious kind, and that's what we're catering here to. Instead of doing those things in darkness, do it in the light. Transform that idea of having to get away with things and see what you can do so you don't have to get away with things. And that's what the ether is trying to teach you. It may be the key to teach yourself how to have a better ego with yourself, or be more settled with the ego that you do have for yourself. Because that's why it's so fucking interesting and fun to play with the goddamn devil when the devil energy comes up in a reading. Everyone's shitless scared. It's hilarious. It's like, oh my god, who is it? It's you. But who is it? It's not me. It's you. But I don't think it might still be you. Anyway. Oh, lordy lord. Eight of Wands and the emotions. Yeah. Like I said, that those emotions need healing for you to understand why your ego is as mighty as it is. Right? It is mighty. It is fiery. It is ready to go. It is very sexual. It's very in need. Someone is in need of sexual activity and sensual touch. But to think of yourself as in need of sensual touch and then getting emotional is exactly the problem here, Capricorn. Because you don't need sensual. You can be sensual with yourself. And it's not about giving yourself, you know, the Hail Mary here. Alright, we're not talking about those. We're talking about really emotionally giving yourself the respect to let the inner emotional birdie that's suffering with pain to fly. That's the part. That's where you need to dial in. Like, I think it was, what, Scorpio energy maybe? About, like, dialing in as well. And just needing to really understand that you cannot blame anyone for your journey. It is yours. It is yours. Eight of Cups. All right, emotional journey, emotional resurrection. I said that from the jump. Someone here is leaving an emotionally abusive relationship. So it's, I mean, it's great. You know, leave your exes in the past. I'm tired of kind of like seeing readings where it's like talking about exes. Like, why are we talking about exes? It's X. X has marked the spot. You gotta go. The bullet has been fired. It's like, it's like, no. You already marked it off the map to no longer go traverse there. Why are you going back? Look at that. Only the Knight of Wands goes back because it's fucking fickle. Same thing with the King of Wands energy, Father of Wands in the beginning of the reading. My emotions, my need, my addiction, my desire, my passion, my convoluted mess of desire, my convoluted mesh of deception. Root chakra is a shit show. I mean, it really is. It's a fucking shit show. The moon, yeah, exactly. Because returning to that area is needing to figure out what emotions are catering your needs. Is it a need or a want? Fuck. Is it a need or a want? And the moon card is the reason of the analogy I said earlier. Whatever that was about, like being in the darkness. And I don't know what I said. But a Scorpio energy is coming through here. Cancer, obviously, energy is here too. Some of you like see yourself meditating, having like traveling, you're focused out of consciousness and feeling invigorated by the things and opportunities that come your way. Almost love the narrative because you see it as a sign from ether. And then when you listen out to the sign of ether or the correlation or a person, there's a truth that you take from that situation that the adolescent version of you is upset by because it doesn't have you leave being tied romantically with that person. It's like you're trying, it's fucking weird here. Someone has a very sexual desire for individual or individuals. May have certain options or an option. And that option has crossed somebody's path, maybe. I'm hearing power of 3. So 3 years, 30 years, 33 years, 3 months, 3 weeks. I don't know what the 3 is all about. Maybe even 3 or a trifecta. I don't know. Being in a triangle of love, having that type of conversation, whatever. That is the running kind of fantasy that Capricorn almost has that they don't want to disclose. But at the same time, they don't necessarily know what they want. They don't know you, Capricorn. They don't know, you don't know. They don't know, because I don't know how many versions of you I'm speaking of, or 2, of what it is that you yourself want to do with the one body that you have. Like, you're confused with what it is that you want to do with this one body that you have. But at the same time, it could come because you're emotionally confused with the many various topics that your one body has to try to figure out for itself, all right? Either way, I'm saying the Knight of Wands energy is making you very immature at this time to understand the overall emotional need that's emanating through your pores right now and through your veins. You have a huge calling and yearning for someone or something. But the truth of the situation is that you keep going back to this feeling and reassess or rehash, which possibly means that the situation is not for you because you keep having to plan and rehash. If something is for you, Capricorn, you do not have to plan. You do not have to rehash. You don't have to redo anything because it's just doing. keep that in mind moving forward, please, because you're not understanding the deep various levels of the many subjects that you cover, especially emotionally, conversationally with people that are very intriguing, that are energy sharing, and you go into the niches of your vulnerabilities and refuse to fucking heal that part. Now, ether is okay with your ignorance in the topic, but not okay if you use other people to keep that ignorance at bay. I hope you understand whatever is to be understood from that. To this deck. Fucking flying cards, man. Don't be disrespectful, Capricorn. Don't be disrespectful. Ace of Swords. Just kidding, just kidding. You're learning how to, you know, navigate that fiery energy of yours. You know, don't forget that the devil over there had his or her toesies on fire. You're in hot hands, hot feet, hot temperament, hot everything. Look at that, almost coming out here. 2 of Cups. The Sun. I said you would come out on the other side. Someone's a nurse. Someone wants to travel to like the Middle East. Anywhere but the United States. I see someone walking, like legitimately walking across this like mountain and finding their reason, their epiphany, you know. Lots of time spent out in nature. It's fascinating because this person is injured but existing, and it's interesting as well because this person is a dime in a dozen, Capricorn. It's someone out there, and most likely is you because I said Capricorn, right? So you have the power to really stab your existence to someone and cause movements, cause like earth-shattering shit to happen. And it is fascinating to see you be you, because you're very compelling in ways that I know you don't get a lot of credit for, because I don't see a lot of people around you seeing your movements, your makeshifts, your magic work. And that's supposed to be that way though, Capricorn, and that's the part that I don't think you're allowing yourself to wallow in pure joy and willpower. For that, you're still too close to the center, which is a black hole here, and not from the perspective of the white light and the yellows that come from being as vast as you are. Fascinating, absolutely fascinating. All right, let's see. Worry. I am learning that worry doesn't change an outcome. Friendship. I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason. Like you guys are really learning how to deal with your root chakra, your sacral chakra, and your solar plexus chakra traumas. Self-esteem. I possess gifts of the soul that benefit me and others. Like I said, I just said that. I just said what I said. All right, Capricorn, that is all that I have for you at this time. Again, if you'd like any of my services from any type of tarot reading, inquiring about them, or a remote healing session. I look forward to making your acquaintance. I'm wishing you a wonderful morning, noon, or night, wherever you are in the ether of this time and space, and may you keep flowing, growing, and glowing. Take care.